Hello everybody!
Hey everybody!
My name's Erik.
And I'm Peter.
Today we're going to talk about E3.
3 E's!
Yes, Erik.
And well, there's 2 E's in Peter, but you know, it's a really bad joke, dude.
Anyway.
Alright, well, we set the bar pretty low, so it can only get better from here.
That's true, that's true. So actually, we wanted to today only talk about games.
Yeah, that was the plan, right?
Was, Games Madness.
Yeah, like Game Madness.
Yeah, but AMD had a press conference as well with two...
They dropped the bomb.
Yeah, a lot of hardware news. 16 core, Navi, you name it.
You know, we were excited about the games, but we got damn excited watching the AMD conference as well.
You know, you all know when these CPUs are going to launch, but this takes too long, so we wanted today to go more in depth.
Yeah, a little bit. I mean, it's our thing, right? So you kind of expect us to go into the hardware stuff as well. I mean, we couldn't resist, let's be honest. And also the GPU side, because they had some news there as well. So,
so I already see some people on Twitter reacting. We're watching the chats, so we're live on Twitter, Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, Mixer, and I don't know where. So just let us know your questions. We will try to answer them. And maybe, we have a giveaway as well.
Yes,
of course.
we do.
Yeah.
I'll just put it in there. There we go.
Yeah.
So if you want to participate, just go to msi.com/2/insider and make sure you subscribe to our channels. It'll be all in there. If you're already subscribed, don't worry about it. Just enter and you'll be participating. We have some nice Steam codes to give away, which can get you at least part of the way of some of the nice games that you'll be seeing later this stream as well. If they're on Steam, that's the question, right? And I think that's part of the controversy for some people as well.
That's quite interesting because a lot of the vendors nowadays, I mean, they're opening their own store.
Yeah.
You see Epic getting more stronger in this with exclusives.
Yeah.
And besides that, I also saw Ubisoft coming with like game passes or like service subscriptions.
Yeah, I think Origin had this for a while already, and I think there's also tying into some of the other things that are happening, like the game streaming. So,
for Stadia later on.
Yeah, it's an interesting development. So, but let's see what we're gonna see today. So anyway,
so maybe first start with CPUs from AMD.
Yeah. That might be
they had a lot of information. I think on the most websites you already saw some reports about CPUs, about the internals of the CPU. We're not going to make it too technical today, but we're just going to first do a recap of what AMD announced already during Computex. So on top you have the Ryzen 9, then Ryzen 7, Ryzen 5 with I think it's 5 different CPUs from 6 core to 12 core. They already announced this, prices are there, and now you see it for the first time compared to Intel. So how they position it. And I mean, let's be honest, this is what AMD is talking about. Maybe it's not true. Let's just wait for the reviews later on. But quite interesting to see this. And at the bottom, also 2 new CPUs. And Peter and me, we were discussing this morning, are they CPU or APU?
Because it used to be called APU, right?
Yeah,
but now
I'm not sure anymore. Anyway, it's still an APU. I mean, which basically means
integrated, CPU with integrated graphics.
Yes,
that's pretty much.
And this one is quite interesting because it's called Ryzen 5 3000 something. Yeah. And this 3000 is the confusing part here because it's actually not a Zen 2 core. It's a Zen Plus core, so basically the 12 nanometer core and not the 7 nanometer core. So, and a few months ago, when everybody was talking about support on X470 or X370 or B350 for the 3000 series, a lot of vendors were pushing out BIOS updates on the website. Hey, we support 3000 CPUs, and everybody was saying, hey, this vendor is supporting Zen 2. Well, it's not 100% true because, as you can see here, with these CPUs are not Zen 2, but they will be supported. So, well, anyway, I think 2 weeks ago we already went in depth for all the support for all platforms, what we recommend, what is logical, why we do this. Of course, you still need to wait for BIOS updates. You basically at this moment cannot buy any of the 3000 series CPUs. No. So the, for example, the 3900X is referred to 3rd generation Ryzen.
Yes. Zen 2.
Zen 2, indeed. And this, let me see, 3400G, the Ryzen 5, the 2 new ones at the bottom. These you can refer to as second generation Ryzen with Vega graphics to make it confusing. Anyway, yeah, I'm not going to show you any benchmarks because AMD also released a lot of their own benchmarks. But like what I said, in about 1 month time, you see all the benchmarks out there by your favorite media.
Same thing with the pricing, because I see some Flinty Cloth on Twitch is asking when will the pricing for the X570 be released?
Yes, at this moment we cannot talk about the pricing and we cannot talk about when this will be live. But yeah, towards the launch, I mean, there will be a pre-order period. So, and then the pricing will also be announced. Yeah, I mean, interesting about X570 pricing. I have a slide about that. Peter, can you maybe switch to main? Yep. Then it's less messy. Yeah, this is the slide.
There we go.
This was the MSI CEO, Charles. He did an interview with a lot of media during Computex, and this was published at the 7th of June, so a few days ago. But he was, at that moment, Computex was already talking about why the X570 mainboards will be more expensive than everybody used to. And I think everybody who watches this stream regularly knows, because 2 weeks ago we already talked about X570 and PCI Express Gen 4, the PCB, the switches, the redrivers to strengthen the signal.
There are a lot of new things going into this platform, and so that's kind of the thing that we're saying here. Plus, you know, you can see some changes in terms of cooling as well, so it's more beefy, and so more material.
VRM as well, because you actually, I mean, at that moment, we actually also, when this interview was done, nobody officially knew there was 16 core on the market. Of course, we knew, but we were NDA, so we couldn't talk about it. But all the VRMs, of course, are in X570 are designed for this 16 core.
Up to 16, so they need to be more beefy. So
up to
more.
So it might be more in the future.
Who knows? I mean,
that's
here's the thing. If there's one rule, it's pretty much that there will always be more and better and more powerful in the future.
Maybe next year or something.
Exactly. If not next month or something, then next year or the year after that, or you know, that's just how it goes.
Correct. So anyway, but yeah, I mean, be realistic. I mean, the mainboards are more high-end. I mean, this is the first time we have a godlike in the market for AMD. Gen 4 costs a lot of money, which we talked about a few streams ago, two weeks ago. Then you have the VRM for the 16 core. So all of these kind of things add up.
Yeah, I mean, I already see Beardy Baldy, you know, it's being sarcastic, obviously, saying, that's crazy. Why would more stuff cost more?
Yeah, but
I mean, that is kind of the gist of it. You know, it's not that it's going to be more expensive because we want it to be more expensive. No. Trust me, if we could make products for free and you know, give them away for free, why not? I mean, you know, these things cost money. They need physical work. You need to design them, and the materials being also, used in them as well.
The chipset is going to be pretty expensive from AMD. So it's really clearly positioned above X470. X470 is not going away. No. Better, X470 can be used for the new Ryzen third generation Ryzen, I should say. So if you don't need Gen 4, if you don't like Gen 4, PCI Express Gen 4, I mean, you can easily buy an X470 with the third generation Ryzen. You can still benefit from the 16 core or whatever CPU you buy.
And the, well, probably lower pricing that it's available for.
I think at this moment, well, a lot of more models in the market. You can buy them second-handed if you want. That's it.
No, but there's a lot of choice. I mean, that's the thing. You don't have to go for the new platform. And that's the beauty of AM4 as well, right?
Yeah, later we're going to talk about Navi, and we will also show you that PCI Express Gen 4 for VGA. I mean, it might work in the future, but not at this moment.
It will work. The point is, will you notice a difference, yes or no?
That's true. And of course, if you are into storage and fast storage like PCI Express Gen 4 and NVMe storage, then Gen 4 is the way to go, especially if you can put something in RAID. Nothing is faster than that.
And for big files, you know, the constant, if you've got big files constantly loading or, you know, transferring, that's where you'll notice.
Anyway, let's go back to the beginning, Peter.
Go for it.
So, okay. So this is the CPU lineup, and like I already told you, AMD introduced 2 new APUs. Quite interesting one. I mean, the second generation Ryzen.
Just to interrupt you, but CJ Bill, I think it was that had a really clever thing there as well. In the last slide you showed, there indeed he said, well, the G at the end of the name of the GPU, the CPU, kind of gives it away as well, because
Yeah.
that probably stands for graphics.
Yes, indeed.
So,
well, you see the name as well.
Yeah.
3200G and 3400G.
So
this is indeed for
well
integrated graphics. So quite some things changed. So first of all, the Vega graphics are the same, but the clock speeds are higher. The CPU is, instead of the 14 nanometer CPU, the first Zen, it's the Zen Plus, 12 nanometer CPU. So you get a little bit IPC, so a little bit performance benefit from this. I didn't include any benchmarks from the CPU. AMD provided them, so you probably can find them online. But yeah, this integrated stuff. And if you are a 1080p gamer and you don't want ultra settings, I think a lot of games is good enough for this. I mean, this is
we'll
good
have to
enough
wait
for
and see the actual performance and stuff. But
Yeah.
For the less demanding titles, and you don't want 144 hertz plus or FPS, you should be okay. If you're a retro gamer, for example, this is perfect. This
Yes.
is like, this will run anything of the older games.
Yeah. Flip off the main live stream. Actually, you can check YouTube channel, MSI Gaming, or Twitch channel.
Yeah,
But
those are the ones
we're
where
reading
you get,
all the chats, and from each channel you can win. So it doesn't matter.
Philip is watching on Periscope, and probably there the resolution isn't that great. I think it's at 720p or something.
Twitter.
Yeah, so Periscope. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if you want to watch at a higher,
if you
FPS
like pixels, check Facebook or Twitter
or Periscope.
Well, it's mobile.
Yeah, true. So, but if you want a higher quality, go to YouTube or Twitch and search for MSI Gaming on either one of those, and you'll find this stream in 1080p, 60 FPS. So
yeah. Okay. This was the bombshell. 16 cores.
Yes.
Everybody was expecting it. Everybody was waiting for it. But it was.
And we already knew it was there.
Yeah. So it was
it.
difficult to not talk about it.
Yeah.
Anyway, 3950X, 16 core, 32 threads. This is a monster. They say the first 16 core gaming CPU. Well, I mean,
I'm skeptical. As in, I know that games right now, most games at least don't use 16 cores. So it's kind of like, on the one hand, it's kind of like, more cores. Yeah. On the other hand, you're like, wait, but how many games use that at the moment? But it's not, then we're looking at it the wrong way, because it's the future, guys. So future games will use more cores, and so this scalability of cores and how much they use.
Not only that, a lot of games are still single threaded or optimized for 4 to 6 cores.
Yep.
Something in that area. I mean, multiple cores will come. That's a matter of time.
Yeah.
But also on the 3rd generation Ryzen, the single threaded performance increased quite a lot.
Yes.
I think,
which is very significant.
Yeah,
for gaming.
We have it here. Single threaded performance, so 1T performance. On the,
compared to Zen Plus.
Yeah, compared to Zen Plus, 21%. So
that's significant.
Part of that is from the 7 nanometer and from the new, the frequencies. Yeah. Let's say higher frequencies.
You can see here on the right of the slide, by the way, guys. That's what he's talking about now. So
indeed, and another part is the IPC, which means the internal motor, the internal architecture has changed. A lot of technical stuff over there. Yeah.
So about 60% is thanks to the IPC, according to AMD, and about 40% is due to the shrinking of the process and the design frequency. So it's a nice combination.
Yeah, but the 21%, don't be confused, is not on each CPU. It depends.
I think it's some CPUs up to, probably, right?
Up to. This is I think the 12 core or the 16 core benefits 21%. If you go back to the 6 core entry level, it's like 9%. Yeah. It all doesn't matter. It's all, it's all faster.
It's incremental. Yeah. Speed gain,
Indeed, and so this will help benefit games. Another thing, the multi-core solution from AMD always, and I think not only from AMD, Intel will probably have the same problem. Always had some problems with the scheduler in Windows. It's something on the background, how it divides memory tasks, etc. And there were some patches for it, but now in the latest May update of the Windows 10 update, they included this patch. So now you have, like, for example, they have a game in 1080p, Rocket League, low settings. Yep. You get 15% more FPS, which is quite a lot. Yep. Another PC Mark 10 benchmark, you get 60% more performance. So without doing, just applying a simple software update, Windows 10, or installing a patch. And also the 2nd generation Ryzen, so the 2000 series, also benefit from this.
Yeah.
I don't know how much.
So it's just basically making the impact of, things running in the background less significant, and making sure that your performance is you gain a bit of performance along the way.
Yeah.
So it's all the bits together really help and make it a bigger.
And that's
total.
why I think single-threaded performance will increase a lot. Multi-threaded, of course, with more cores, you can benefit. So for gaming, yeah.
Exactly. That's what it's all about. Just watching the comments.
Yeah, checking the comments. This is also quite interesting. Precision boost.
I was asking how many people had to leave E3 to have a shower after AMD announced a 16-core CPU.
Yeah.
If they were lucky, it was raining. So they just had to go outside and to cool down,
I'm hoping I can get an X570 motherboard for less than $250. Well, let's wait and see. We cannot comment on price ranges or prices.
Not yet, no.
Not yet. But online you already see some prices appear. Not sure if they're 100% final, but you might get some idea.
It's always rumors, so you always have to wait. And again, also per country, even if there is an official MSRP, you will see that the prices vary a lot per country. So it depends on a lot of things, logistics, but also, local VAT, taxes, that kind of stuff.
I want to talk a little bit about the Precision Boost Overdrive. Also very interesting, because this was first introduced in the last generation of the Threadripper platform. So Threadripper second generation, which basically it can boost up to 200 megahertz your clock speed. So it's not within a safe range. Somebody told me also you lose your warranty. I'm not sure. Anyway, I mean, we don't care warranty if you can overclock, right? And this is what you get also now in the Ryzen 3rd generation platform. So you the 6 core up to the 16 core. Yeah. And basically you get extra performance for free. Just setting in the BIOS, enable it, and wow, I mean.
Yeah, I mean, it's free performance, Yeah. So why not?
Very nice. Memory. This is something AMD didn't announce yet. They didn't talk about memory performance in the past. So now in E3 they started to talk about it. And I think everybody knows memory, DDR4 memory support, compatibility. Yeah. Overclocking was always a nightmare on the Ryzen platform. Already from the first Ryzen, a lot of problems on it. For AMD it was always a big challenge to get the compatibility there. And then we started with optimizing our BIOS for better memory with DDR4 memory boost. We also introduced a feature called A-XMP. Basically, you can AMD XMP. You can use XMP memory on AMD motherboards that we read the clock speeds.
Yeah, same principle.
Yeah, indeed. So second generation Ryzen, AMD already improved a little bit on memory compatibility, also memory speeds, but now this is a huge step. I mean, on the 3rd generation Ryzen, I would say they fixed all memory problems. Here is the proof also on, they used our Godlike, X570 Godlike to overclock the memory on air to 5100. I mean, this will not be the default clock speed. Default clock speed will be 3200. Yeah. But this is amazing if you can do this.
It just shows you what's possible. And,
and I have Godlike here as well. Yeah, maybe show the different angle. Yeah, so
I think you disconnected the cable there. No, actually no.
It's I think nobody can see the lights. So, too shiny here. Anyway, exactly. So this is our Godlike motherboard, which was used by AMD in order to overclock the memory. And what's this? Not final yet.
It's an engineering sample.
It's an engineering sample. Anyway. And if you want to know more about this model, 2 weeks ago, we will later put the live stream here, link it. 2 weeks ago, we talked about all our main boards. And they also did some LN2 overclocking. Yeah. So they used liquid nitrogen to break some world records. They didn't want to show all the details, so they didn't talk about clock speeds, what clock speeds they achieved. They just did some benchmarks.
Yeah. Some scores.
This is quite impressive. I mean, if you in the left, let's say in the middle, you see the old records, mostly done on Intel. I would say all on Intel. And I mean, especially the Geekbench, interesting. Cinebench.
Not a small difference. So actually quite a big difference that they managed to do with the Cinebench R20. So it's quite a big step again.
Yeah. And this is probably still not final silicon, not final BIOS, and this means it can go either way. But I would say, I mean, they always try to improve, so the final product should be even faster. And this was also done on Godlike. You see there the memory, 4.5 gigahertz.
And this would have looked so much better on a curved monitor. Let's be honest.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, and then we had this about our CEO. We already talked about pricing.
Yeah.
Maybe some giveaway.
Is it maybe time to do the first giveaway? So guys, if you want to participate, go to msi.com/2/insider. I will post the link in the chat as well, which I already did before. So let me just put it separately. Then you can participate, and you can win a $20 Steam voucher.
Yeah, Cyberpunk was really cool.
So let me just, there we go. So yeah, let's draw our first lucky winner, if we can.
I hope it's me.
Small chance, no chance actually. Let's see. Wait. Where's my delete key?
Are you going to delete something?
No, yeah, well, I have to delete some text in here. Okay, drawing the first winner. And the first winner is Philip Lavrel.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, Philip. So we'll get you your Steam voucher code after the stream.
After stream in the coming days. I never
that
say
includes the coming days, doesn't it?
Weeks.
Like after years.
Yeah. Don't push us.
After the stream anyway. Yeah. But yeah, so we still have more codes to give away, guys. So participate at msi.com/2/insider or use the link we just posted in the chat, and you can still have a chance to win.
Yeah, let's talk about Navi.
Navi, I mean that's my
Everybody
thing.
knew Navi was coming already. I think announced their roadmaps 2 years ago.
Yeah, and it was. I mean, a lot of people even expected it to be. I think it's CES already, right?
Actually at CES, at Computex
rumors
last year.
Yeah, there were a lot of rumors, and everybody's like, just wait for Navi, just wait for Navi.
Yeah. Actually, they introduced Navi, but it was the professional part.
Yes,
for workstation.
Instinct was it called? Or something like that. Yeah. So I mean, and that's how it usually goes, right? They first go for the more expensive professional parts, and then they'll kind of make it more economical and then develop it further for the consumer market. So I mean, Navi, or as it's now called, the 5700 series, very interesting. I don't know if it was what everybody expected it to be.
This is the same with all the games. I mean, a lot of people have expectations, and then there's only disappointment.
But it depends. I mean, sometimes companies are able to fulfill the expectations, or make the hype real. And prevent disappointing people. I don't know if people are really disappointed as much as.
On Navi, I think everybody's excited. I mean, if you check the pricing, let's maybe go to talk about some features.
I've seen two sides, but I'll get back to that indeed. So first, let's just...
You always have the haters. I mean...
Of course. But I mean...
If you look at Navi, I mean, they have a new architecture, RDNA.
Yeah, so Radeon DNA, obviously a nice name, I think. It's, they're basically saying our DNA is in the whole thing, and it's like, interwoven and everything. So the new architecture, which is very technical, but it includes obviously 7 nanometers, which coincidentally also on Ryzen.
Well, they already had 7, right? Radeon 7 wasn't 7 nanometers.
True. But I mean, that was like kind of crazy high end. It used HBM2 memory, 16 gigs of it.
Now it uses GDDR6 memory, so I think that's a big benefit for them, because HBM2 or HBM memory was very expensive. Yes. It was not easy to get, so to source from different memory vendors, and this was always.
I mean, this is AMD being AMD, right?
True.
They want to pioneer new technology, and that's what they've been doing for a long time.
HBM is still faster in that regard, because if you look at the high end, the Titans, the Instincts, I mean, they use HBM memory. And I guess AMD will also continue to use this in the high end.
On the high, I mean, sure. I mean, they want to push the
envelope. Price is not so important.
No, but I mean, somebody has to, push the envelope and keep pushing new technologies. And AMD is usually the one to do that. Doesn't always work out the best, though. I mean, with Vega, we've also seen that it's you know, it works, yes, but it's very difficult for production, for example, especially if you're the first, you know.
Yeah.
There are a lot of things that need to be, you know, smoothed out in terms of production, in terms of pricing, because it's only once you scale up the production to quite a big level that it becomes somewhat doable in pricing, or at least, you know, you get some kind of volume discount or whatever, you know, that it becomes So using GDDR6 makes it a lot more economical, and then, you know, makes a lot more sense as well.
It increases the PCB a bit because HBM also had a package benefit.
Yeah, it's
so it
smaller.
was near the CPU.
Yeah. But I mean, that's not an issue for graphics cards. No? I don't think, you know, a smaller PCB is not needed. People are used to big graphics cards by now.
The same like at NVIDIA now.
Yeah, and I mean, this thing isn't even that big. The graphics card might be a bit bigger, but especially the die of the GPU.
Well, what's interesting, they also updated the media engine. So if you are into decoding or encoding, you now also have more bandwidth. So
yeah, I have some numbers on that because I had to look it up as well. But there are different types of decoding. So there's H264, which is the newer one basically. So in encoding terms, which means, you know, to, for example, stream or something, or at least send stuff, you can do 6 simultaneous streams of 1080p Full HD at 60 FPS, or you can do a single 4K at 90 FPS, so quite nice. And decode, so basically just receiving and then displaying or sending it out somewhere. It can do 10 simultaneous streams of 1080p at 60 FPS or 4K at 150 FPS. So quite nice numbers. Also H265 got an update. So it was upgraded now to both decoding and encoding 6 simultaneous instances of 1080p at 60 FPS it can do, and 4K at 90 FPS, decoding, encoding 4K at 60 FPS, and also decoding, it can do 8K at 24 FPS. So interesting for the larger displays coming up maybe.
I see a lot of discussion in the chat. Spider Logan is asking, will this new technology help me to type fast? I hope not.
No. That's what LED does, the RGB. That's what helps you to type faster.
LED,
yeah. Don't get confused. So no, I mean, it's all about, you know, competitive in the market, being competitive in the market. But, you know, this media engine is nice because there's a lot of people streaming at the same time. You know, everything's being streamed in real time these days.
AMD also did a demo on stage, and to be honest, I don't know the exact details. But there was
you mean the CPU one, right? The Ryzen.
It was a CPU demo. They compared Intel versus AMD. Yeah. I think the 16 core or something, and they maxed it out. And I said, okay, both are maxed out, so you don't see any FPS difference. But let's now at the background do a live stream. Yeah. And I'm not sure if this was at Navi or at the CPU, but then they started live stream, and I think this was only CPU. Yeah. And then the Intel one, the frame rate dropped hell.
Yeah, exactly.
Missed a lot of frames for the live stream. And the AMD one kept going because it had more cores, so it was CPU only. So also these kind of details will help in the background to offload your CPU.
Exactly.
And if you have more CPU cycles available, more frames per second.
That's the thing, And if you're doing this in the background, you still have performance left for other things maybe. So interesting, and always good to optimize things. So that's one thing. The other thing that they also mentioned was Radeon display engine. So that was media engine that we just mentioned, but there's also display engine.
Display engine is about what signal do you output, and I think they updated DisplayPort, right?
Yes, to 1.4, and they're only, I say, supporting HDMI 2.0B, so that not the 2.1.
Yeah, but they did an update on that as well.
Could be, but
they updated with I think DSC. Which basically means you can have
but that's DisplayPort, I believe. So display stream compression, DSC indeed, which basically means that they found a way, or at least they tried to find a way, we'll still have to see and test it, of course, to compress the signal so that, for example, right now, if you want to do 4K 144 Hertz, you would need 2 DisplayPort cables to carry the signal.
One doesn't have enough bandwidth.
Exactly, there's not enough bandwidth in a single cable. What they did was to find a way to compress the signal so that it does fit into one cable, and you only need one cable to do, for example, You can do 4K at 240 hertz, actually, using the display stream compression.
So now you need a fast GPU.
Yeah, I mean now we still
Fast
need
monitor.
Exactly. Yeah. Now we need
money.
the technology to actually push that kind of frame rate.
Yeah.
If you want to include HDR on 4K, you can only do 120 hertz. So still quite impressive. And 8K HDR you can do on 60 hertz on a single DisplayPort cable.
Yeah.
So that's going to be exciting as well.
Yeah.
If only for just. Sure, if you're doing games, that might be a bit of a stretch. 8K HDR, that's at 60 FPS. But for example, just watching content on a big screen and with a very sharp resolution, very high resolution, like movies or something like that. That's also one of the things that will be possible.
I still want to talk a little bit about Gen 4. This is the benchmark AMD showed, and I think this benchmark is released today, but nobody has Gen 4, so nobody can use it, so it doesn't matter. Yeah. It's a part of 3D Mark, and yeah, basically it's showing how much faster Gen 4 on the VGA card, because the graphical benchmark is compared to Gen 3. But this is, and then I also see some benchmarks at 2 times faster. Yeah, that's the bandwidth, but the VGA card will not use this. If you're going to do video editing in 8K, high FPS, then you probably will find a limitation. But
but in games, I mean, there are not really any scenarios where your graphics card is being held back or bottlenecked by the PCIe lanes or bandwidth. So
if you only want to game, Gen 4,
should be plenty. Yeah,
but if you're into storage and into editing videos or something.
But hey, who knows? Because the future games, here's the thing. The more space and the more performance is being offered by the hardware, the developers of the games obviously will be trying to utilize that space and
it's a matter of time before Intel will do this. This is industry standard. Everybody moved to DDR4, one faster than the other one. Same with PCI Express Gen 4.
Yeah, it's faster, it's better, whether you need it or not. I don't think that ever stopped people from doing it.
The cost of all the components we talked about earlier will also go down, because now it's early adapters phase, not a lot of volume. Yeah, there's always more vendors will come on the market to supply these chips. So
there will be more factories to make them, and so in time, this is how it always goes. Indeed.
Let's talk a little bit about
RDNA. So here are some of the numbers that we wanted to show you guys. So in absolute performance, they compared the Navi GPU. I think this was the full, so the XT maybe, compared to the Vega 64. 14% more performance. So that's already a nice start. But also the power usage is quite a bit lower, which obviously is mostly down to the shrinking to the 7 nanometers, which makes it more power efficient as well. But it also shows you that they are definitely going and looking into ways of making it more power efficient. On the right side, you see also very interestingly, compared to the Vega 10, which had the HBM2 modules in the basically the module of the GPU. But the die itself on the right side, you can see the Navi die is much smaller. It's almost half the size, almost half the size of the Vega 10, which also again, is down to shrinking mostly, but also a lot of efficiency. So it could be, and I'm not sure, this is just speculation, that we could be seeing some bigger dies as well. So it would be very interesting to see where they can take this. Again, these are the first 7 nanometer GPUs that, after the Radeon 7.
If I look at power draw, this is a little bit tricky, because if you look at the TDP of the VGA cards, it's higher than what NVIDIA is offering. So they compared it to the old generation the Vega 64.
True.
Of course, yes, it's more power efficient.
Yeah.
But it doesn't say
a step in the right direction.
It's a step in the right direction.
Definitely.
That's for sure. Yeah.
So sure, you can look for other situations where yes, the GTX and RTX cards are still ahead in terms of
power efficiency per watt,
but they are using a different but they are using a different process. So if and when NVIDIA does go to 7 nanometers, AMD has already paved the way, because they are the first ones to do that now. wait 1 or 2, maybe a couple of years, probably they will be able to make it more efficient as well.
Yeah. I see a discussion going on. PS5 will put an end to PC gaming. Yeah, some people in the chat as well. Well, it's quite interesting because this idea is already going on for years. Consoles will kill PC gaming.
I was going to say you can replace in that statement. You can replace PS5 by any random thing.
It's always the case. The problem with that is, I mean, will it be PS5? I mean, Microsoft will have a console. You have Stadia. More and more will move to the cloud. So basically, you can rent hardware in the cloud. And I saw some people talking about ray tracing as well. What about AMD and ray tracing? Well, as you all know, NVIDIA started with ray tracing. Not really true. I mean, ray tracing already very old, from 1980, whatever, 1985 or something.
The idea and the technology.
The technology.
Yes.
But the hardware was never fast enough. So NVIDIA was very smart in doing hybrid ray tracing, part rasterization, part ray tracing. In the beginning, it was quite difficult for NVIDIA because they overdid it in the first Battlefield. Battlefield 5, was it? Yeah.
Well, that was the first iteration.
Yeah, I mean, they found out some optimizations together with DICE. They tuned the engine, they tuned the drivers.
DLSS.
They noticed, we don't have to do ray tracing, and all the parts can only be on water and Windows. And I mean, in the end, yes, it is a performance impact, but it's now still.
Well, so was 3D when it first was introduced, right?
What? 3D,
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody was like, what the hell is this? And my PC is like, it's a slideshow,
Yeah, indeed.
And anyway, look at 3D now. I mean, it's...
Yeah, so, I mean, in the beginning also you didn't have any software which supported the ray tracing. It took, I think, like 4 to 5 months before Battlefield was released with ray tracing. Then another few months for this Lara Croft, what is it? Tomb Raider or something. Yeah, and you have some demos, of course, but now more and more games are coming there with ray tracing. So what is AMD's plan? I mean, this Navi GPU does have ray tracing, and everybody is saying, yeah, PS5 will have ray tracing, and it's Navi.
But then, wait, but will it then not be called Ray Station?
Yeah.
I mean, would they not have to change the name? Because,
Ray Station 5.
Yeah, Ray Station.
Yeah. So, I mean, AMD already said that the next generation of Navi will do ray tracing to some extent, and in the future it's in the cloud. So, and this is also what Stadia is talking about. In the future, you can just rent a game. You actually rent bandwidth. Yeah. You say, I want to play this game 1080, 60 FPS. Yeah. Okay, you need 35 megabits. I want to play this game. No, that's probably 10 or something. I don't know. You want to play 4K. 60 FPS of 144 FPS. I mean,
that's this package. Yeah. It's like Netflix in that regard. You have the HD package, you have the Ultra HD package, the 4K package. Yeah. It's the same thing. But here's the thing: there are always people who like to own their stuff. Yeah. They don't like to rent it; they want to own it. It's like leasing a car or buying it yourself and owning it. It's like renting a house or buying it. And it's yours.
You will always have benefits from that. I mean, streaming, especially at this moment. The service like Stadia or what is called from NVIDIA?
GeForce Now.
GeForce Now. I mean, they all have the lag to the data centers.
Yeah, but also keep in mind, games aren't really developed with this thing in mind. If game developers actually will optimize a game from the start based on that principle, it probably will work better as well.
I saw the guys from Quake doing something regarding that. They were implementing this in their engine, etc. But still, I also saw some other.
Was it called Orion? They were displaying it with Orion, right? Yeah.
So this is still like 5 to 10 years away, and it will come. Will this be like PS5? It will kill PC? I don't think so.
Will it have an impact? Yeah, sure. I mean, everything that's new will have an impact, and so. But here's the thing: people are not exclusive either console or PC gamers or cloud. Why not all at once? Yeah. Because
and if you look at the Doom Orion service, and I'm not sure how they're going to introduce it, if it's for free or something, but basically if you own your PC, you can stream to your own hardware, so to your own mobile phone. Yeah. Microsoft is xCloud or something it's called. It's also for gamers. You can run it. This service you can run on your own Xbox One, I guess. And then it can also stream to your own devices, and you can share it with a friend or something. I don't know. But anyway, so I don't think it will kill PC. But yeah, it will for sure give us a step into the future.
Here's the thing: it's always a step in a new direction, and you know the thing about cloud gaming or whatever you want to call it, you know, it's coming, and it will be interesting to see where it will take us. I mean, it's interesting new possibilities, which are definitely shown by Stadia. You know, just cross-platform, whatever. You take your phone and you can continue playing, and yeah, very interesting. But you know, practically,
It's
is it doable? Is it, will you actually use it? Will you actually? We will have to see.
Spoof Pass is saying it's like web hosting. Do you want shared hosting or dedicated server? Yeah, that's correct.
Kind of like that.
Yeah. Will you make Intel GPUs? It's too early to talk about that. I mean, the Intel GPUs are still, I think, a few years. What I read online, so all rumors. It's still
also
too early to talk
will be
about
very
that.
interesting to see what they come up with. In the past, they did have some.
They tried already.
Yeah, they did have some very interesting ways to like a GPU right now is very dedicated piece of hardware, right? It cannot do anything else than hardware or graphics rendering and stuff like that. They in the past they had this idea for a GPU that could be used as a GPU, but it could also be then allotted to, for example, CPU tasks or something, or helping the CPU. So it could be doing a lot of things, much more versatile. The thing is, when you do that, then it was a lot less effective or efficient.
And this is also what you see now at AMD. They have two architectures. One is probably, I don't know exactly, but one is probably going for the professional market because more optimized for that. And the RDNA, the new architecture, what we're now talking about, is more for gaming. So I'm not sure if their professional cards like the Instinct, etc., will follow. So for workstation, will follow RDNA. But I mean, what I now understood, different directions.
Yeah,
and that makes sense.
It does, yeah, because different demands and different things that are needed per category. So
ASMR. What is that?
I don't know.
We'll I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah. We'll have to
hey, let's continue.
Yeah. So these are some of the different. So these are the two graphics cards or GPUs that AMD has announced. So we have the 5700 and the 5700 XT, and of course the XT is a little bit of throwback to old school Radeon where we had more XTs. So yeah, I mean there's obviously a difference there in compute units already, which also results in a difference in the teraflops being used or being calculated. Both have 8 gigs of GDDR6 VRAM, so video memory, and of course there's, as you can see, a difference in clock speed. So the XT is clocked higher. And
interesting here is the new
the
game clock.
Yeah, there's 3 clock speeds indeed. So there used to be 2. So base and boost is basically what we already know. The game clock is new, and the game clock is what AMD says that it should always hit while you're gaming. Because obviously when you're gaming, and especially you're gaming for a long time, your GPU or your graphics card can get a bit hot, so it can throttle the clock speed a bit to stay below a certain temperature. Which is fine, shouldn't impact the game too much. Obviously, you don't want that, but that means that it will not be able to run the boost clock consistently, so the highest clock speed. So I guess this is kind of a thing where they're trying to say, just to be safe, they can they want to be able to guarantee the game speed, the game clock speed.
Sustained clock speed.
Yeah, during gaming. So that's the idea behind the game clock, so as to not get people complaining and saying, hey, I'm gaming, but my 5700 XT is not continuously running at 1905 megahertz.
In the past, a big marketing trick of a lot of companies. They just said, "Oh, we run at 2 gigahertz."
The highest clock speed.
We have the highest clock speed. But then you start a game, it hit the 2 gig, and directly it went down to 1.5 or something. So that's a sustained clock speed. So it's what you continuously can run over like half an hour while playing a game or under load. And this all has to do with your cooler, because your cooler needs to be able to remove away the heat from the GPU and the memory and the VRM.
It will be interesting to see, because as we all know, the blower type cooler is very efficient when you're trying to keep the hot air out of your system, but it's not the most efficient way of cooling if your system has a good airflow. So I don't have 100% confirmation, but I think it's safe to say that there might be some custom versions of these cards coming up. Probably MSI as well.
Somebody already wants to have the MSI prices for the new GPUs.
Well, I can't give you the MSI prices because honestly, they don't exist yet. We don't have them. So what I know is that our headquarters are looking into it and seeing, we'll have to see what we'll do with it. But, indeed, better cooling. Will this help to get higher sustained clock speeds? It should be, but it will be interesting to see how it reacts. But yeah, the MSRPs are there. So that's at the moment what AMD communicated as the pricing. So for the 5700, it will be $379. Aggressive, a bit above the MSRP price, the launch price of the RTX 2060 though.
Yeah.
So which was 350 to all intents and purposes. So it's a bit above that. And the XT was basically 450, but we'll have to see. I mean,
will we have custom cards? 5700 XT Lightning. Well, I don't think Lightning.
I don't know. It doesn't seem like this is like their top end GPU. I also don't hope it.
They're going they're going to compete with 2070. That's what they indicate themselves.
Yeah.
So this is not a top end GPU.
Well,
is
you
it
don't
their
know.
top end GPU?
You
that
don't know.
Could be.
Yeah. So we'll have to see.
Is it like Lightning worthy? No.
Compared to the 2080 Ti, probably not. No. It's not going to break the records of the 2080 Ti.
No.
So in that respect, no.
Yeah.
But
will we have Lightning? Maybe.
Yeah.
That's something different.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it depends on the roadmap, but I would say no Lightning for this one.
No. But so
let's wait and see.
Yeah. Who knows? Maybe they'll come out with other GPUs later this year or next year. I don't know.
You also wanted to show some benchmarks because
this
is quite interesting. It's focused at 4040p, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's quite logical. If you look at 4K, then you need like 2080 Ti.
Yeah.
Doing 60 FPS 4K, it's like 2080 Ti.
Yeah.
1080 Ti.
Especially if you want to do things in ultra.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So.
But just a step down, so 2070, 2060, they can handle 4040p quite okay. We also see that 4040p is a very popular segment of monitor. Most monitors these days being sold are probably 4040p because
well, not most monitors sold, but for gaming,
it's increasing a lot.
Absolutely.
Especially MSI gaming monitors, we see that a lot as well.
Yeah.
And it makes sense. We also did a couple of streams about that, explaining why that is.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if you look at the performance, and this is compared to an RTX 2060, I don't know if it's the Founders Edition or what edition they're comparing it to. I also don't know. I saw a good question before saying the benchmarks being shown here, which performance mode are they using? I don't know. So which one of the clock speeds?
That's the tricky part here.
Yeah, they don't mention. I always think they want to paint the picture as positively as possible, obviously, because that's in their best interest. So I would assume that this is just the highest clock speed they can get it to run at the moment.
Spider Logan has a comment for you. You are dressed sloppy.
I know. Yeah, it's okay. It's that was what I was going for today.
Yeah. Hey, so. Actually, what we did is the Ghost Recon Wildlands. We checked the benchmarks because they're comparing this with 2060.
Yep.
4040p ultra settings.
Yes. So how many? I mean, it doesn't really show any
FPS.
Actual FPS here, right? It just shows percentages. So how does this translate into FPS? So, you might ask.
And the one on the right side, Wildlands. Was it? What was it? 45, right?
I think the 2060 came out at like 45 FPS on these settings, on ultra settings. Yeah.
The other one 50.
The 2070 was about 57, 56 FPS.
So
it's still below 60.
Yes,
that's what we're getting at. So it's nice to be able to see this in percentages. But if you want to
go... And there's only one benchmark, only Wildlands, pretty heavy game, so doesn't... I mean, the other ones can all run at 80, we didn't look at that.
I mean, Overwatch probably will be a lot lighter, depends. So, but I mean, they just want to show, and it's on average probably around 10% faster. But you can see per game, it differs quite a bit. The lowest one in this overview is...
Well, a lot of people also say always that AMD... needs time to develop the driver. So at launch, they're pretty okay. Yeah? I mean, this is what probably they will present at launch. But then a few months later, they optimize the drivers in such a manner that you get like 10% extra or 20% extra performance.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't know if they can keep doing that because this is like magic to me. I don't know. I don't even know how they do that.
they probably say your subtitles are translated in English and mine in Dutch.
I don't know.
That would be cool.
Anyone else see the crappy job YouTube does at translating the Dutch English in the subs?
Yeah.
It's funny. It's always fun. I saw in, what show was it? I think it was the E3 show where with the Witcher, you could see, or the Witcher, sorry, Cyberpunk, you could see in the corners there was like text.
Yeah.
I thought this was like auto cue so he could read,
That's
but it was reacting to what he was saying. And especially when Keanu Reeves was on the stage and he was like taken out of his script, I thought, okay, so the script is just continuing. But then there was like some weird text when it was trying to work out. I think it was similar.
Yeah.
Like it was just trying to work out what he was saying. And
so let's not make it too difficult for YouTube.
No.
So this is the 5700 compared to the 2060. And we also have the 5700 XT compared to the 2070.
Yeah. So as you can see, a bit smaller difference compared to the 2070 on the XT. But yeah, I mean, it will be interesting to see how it will develop because obviously the 2070 has been out for quite a while already. This thing is still new. Maybe still with experimental drivers. We don't know yet. You know, it's still a while off. They announced that it will be or launched or available starting from the 7th of July. Yeah, 7th of the 7th, 7 nanometers. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see how it goes. But it looks interesting. Already quite interesting to see that they are a bit more competing again in at least the, well, mid-range. I'm still struggling to call this mid-range at these prices. It is apparently the mid-range now.
It is mid-range, but pricing is not. I mean, if you compare it to a few years ago, it is not mid-range pricing.
No, definitely not. It's upper mid-range at least. But anyway, so yeah, interesting to see AMD get back in the fray.
To be honest, I mean, a few years ago, everything was 1080p.
Yeah,
I mean, you now get higher resolutions and this is what I found very funny. Fidelity FX.
Yeah. On and off. And especially the green color with on. Might be a jab at some other...
I directly texted to somebody I knew in AMD like, hey, lol.
Nice. Yeah. Well, during the presentation, they also, I think they made a verbal jab as well. They said, like, our goal is not to introduce technologies that will cost you, that will cause an FPS impact or performance impact, and then try to smooth it over afterwards. AKA DLSS, so they're trying to get at it from a different angle, which perfectly fine for me. But again, so this feature that they announced, the Fidelity FX, is basically a post-processing thing. It needs to be natively supported by the game, or else this will not work, specifically the Fidelity FX. So it's not, you have sharpening filters that you can apply
in drivers
or like, what was it, Reshade or something, there are programs like that. Those don't require native game support. Yeah. This one does.
This is basically the same like what you have with DLSS and with ray tracing. You also need to include it in your engine.
Yes.
From that perspective, right? Exactly. I'm not saying the same visual quality or the same goal.
It's not even the same technology or the same idea behind it.
It's the same. The game developers need to implement this, and this basically means that AMD needs to go to game developers, like here they did probably with Borderlands 3. Hey guys, how are you? Can you please use this? Okay, let's see.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know how much work it is. Maybe it's quite easy.
Well, talking about these kind of things and going to game developers, one interesting thing what I noticed is, and I'm not 100% sure if this is true, Navi, the two new GPUs are not supporting Crossfire.
Yeah, I also noticed that. So that's, I mean, NVIDIA has been kind of going away from the multi-GPU setup as well. They still support it, only up to 2-way though, and only, what was it, 2080 and up, right?
Yes,
I think even 2070 doesn't even support it anymore. So, it's kind of a thing that's dying out a bit.
This is also it has to do with DirectX 12, because DirectX 12 gives you the flexibility as a developer that you can program. You can even use AMD and NVIDIA combined if you want. You can implement in software your own SLI construction. It's not driver based.
So maybe
anymore.
It's not even interesting for them to spend time and money to make it work.
The problem was in the past they needed to implement it themselves, but they could rely on a big part on the driver from NVIDIA or AMD for that matter. Of course, how many people have SLI? Less than 5%, less than 3%, less than 1%.
It's a very small percentage.
And then you also had triple SLI or triple Crossfire.
Even quadruple.
Quad, indeed.
Yes.
So I mean, you can even imagine this is really small percentage of the market. So
almost nobody.
How much work do they need to put into in making this work? And then Nvidia is still doing a part. They made sure the driver compatibility. So now Nvidia and AMD are not doing their part anymore because 100% needs to be developed from the game engine.
Yeah.
So what happens that like companies like Unity, companies like Unreal, those engines, they need to implement this. And then the game developer itself needs to customize it for their likings and their implementation. I'm afraid that this will be
very dependent on a lot of different parties and you know.
But I think it will be the end of SLI and Crossfire like we know it.
Maybe, yeah. I mean,
and this will also impact motherboards because now you still have, I mean, this is a strange thing, right? Everybody always wants 3 PCI Express slots on the motherboards, or 4, or 2, because of what?
It's the idea, you know. Then I at least have the possibility to put another graphics card there.
Nobody's doing this.
Yeah, but the idea is kind of like, it does. A lot of people, I think, are a fan of the idea that you still have the possibility to do that. But
I see people here talking about laptops and notebooks. How it should be called. Actually, there is a technical difference in that. A laptop is something you can put on your lap, which basically means at the bottom of it, you don't have any ventilation holes. So heat will not burn your legs.
That, or it will not, you know, if you put it on your pants or something and it will block the holes and it won't start overheating.
So, and a notebook has more on the sides and on the back. That's the, let's say, the qualification difference. I think we prefer to call it notebooks, right?
Laptops, actually.
Laptops.
Yes.
It's new.
Yeah,
it's changed.
Yeah,
it's true. It used to be notebooks.
Yeah.
Same with mainboards and
now
motherboards.
It's called motherboards.
Okay, so we use laptops
and motherboards.
Laptops and motherboards. Okay.
And graphics card, not VGA.
Yeah.
It's another one of those things. I hope Peter's water bottle is MSI branded. Nope. Sadly, it's not, but maybe I can put a sticker on it. Don't worry. This was another thing that was quite interesting to see. The AMD announced or presented that they have found some ways to cut down on response time. So basically the time that literally you do something and then that it takes that you see the result on the screen. So there's always a few milliseconds of delay there apparently. Yeah, so Radeon anti-lag.
Oh.
I think they call it. Yeah.
Nice title.
And I mean, you know, it makes a few milliseconds of difference. Will be interesting to see if you actually notice it. They claim, you know, normally it was about 4 frames the whole cycle, you know, where you did something versus when you got the result on the screen. And the percentage that they managed to reduce it is basically equivalent to a full frame reduction in time. But we'll have to see.
Nvidia already said like,
we're already doing this for like a decade or something.
We're already doing this, but we didn't tell you.
We never mentioned something like, I don't know. Yeah. You know, again, so this is something that I guess the proof is in the pudding. We'll have to see and test it and see.
And the question is, do people need to integrate this into their game engine, or will it be driver driven? Will it be enabled from
I think this was driver.
I guess as well.
Driven, I think, but I'm not 100% sure.
Anyway, I mean. In the end, all the new technologies are nice. It just matters what is the price and what is the performance you get in the end.
Yeah. And is it actually useful or not? I mean, that's
and how they do it.
Thing,
I mean, it doesn't matter, right?
Yeah. That's
it is with like each CPU into launch. Oh, a lot of new technology, blah blah. Give me the benchmark.
Yeah. Well, just wait for the benchmark. Yeah, exactly. But again, this has become a thing because it's always when Intel or AMD presents a new CPU or Nvidia or AMD presents a new graphics card, you know, it's always like, oh, we've got this, we've got that, and you get all the benchmarks and stuff, and then it's already a lot of times where basically in the media benchmarks, you know, the independent ones, where you see the real life performance and the real world things. They can differ a bit. I'm not saying that that's what's going to happen now, but you know, it always remains to be seen. You know,
Benjamin is asking, can you please tell us the date when MSI custom design cards with RDNA will come? At this moment, it's very difficult because we don't know yet.
No.
Even if there will come custom cards,
we'll have to see.
It's just they informed everybody in MSI except us to
No, I mean that's the
Yeah.
thing. They're still looking into it.
Actually, you
because-
could have known. You could have, because they asked you, can we have a con call to discuss, the new GPUs? And then you said, I don't have time. I need to do a live stream.
yeah,
And I told you, you better taking the call.
Well,
that you
I don't know if
knew
they
all the
already.
information.
I don't know if they already, have a conclusion. I think they're still
and
looking,
anyway,
they're still in process.
Even if we knew, we couldn't.
I mean,
probably
here's
tell
the thing.
about it.
This is a big deal. Navi is a big deal for AMD. So they kept things very close to the chest. And I mean, NVIDIA has been doing this as well. So that means that we don't find out until they make it public. And that's pretty much what's happened here now as well. We had
Navi,
some
we
rumors.
knew already during Computex. We already had talked about.
Well, we had some rumors, but we didn't have like full specs. We didn't have clock speeds. We didn't
Well,
have
also
TDP.
we have the design kits and all that is coming in, etc. But to make your complete custom PCB design, you need a lot more, and it needs to be allowed.
Yeah, exactly.
So, anyway, in the coming weeks, probably more news about this.
We will see.
It's already on the agenda planned.
I don't know, but they're saying that's it. Peter is fired.
We should have a big red button here.
Yeah, pretty much. All right. Well, if you don't get fired once, at least a year, then you're not doing your job, right?
Yeah, that's correct. What about this beauty?
What about this beauty? Well, Lisa came onto the stage after all was said and done about Navi and said, well, we're going to have a 50th anniversary edition as well. So, I mean, looks nice.
This was before she put her signature on it?
I guess so, yeah. I mean, on the stage, she had one with a signature on it, obviously. I don't know if you get the signature on it. This one looks like no signature. But basically, it comes down to exactly the same as the 5700 XT, but higher clock speed. So probably maybe a higher binned model or just pushing it higher in speeds. I don't know. I also don't know if I don't think they already mentioned a price, did they? But you were speculating probably $50 more.
No, it was. I think I saw somewhere that was like $50 more. I skipped the last part of the AMD live stream because it was like sleeping time for me. It was like 1 o'clock at night. So this part I missed. I saw somewhere $50 more.
But I mean, again, it's like
so it's
the
like
CPU.
$499. Is that possible? Or
No. Yeah, well, yeah, it will be 500. No, sorry, 550 then, pretty much. But we'll have to wait to see. Like the CPU, the 50th anniversary version, Ryzen as well. It's a collector's item, if you're into collecting those things.
Spider logo once is completely MSI branded.
Yeah, probably you want us replaced by virtual luckies or something.
Yeah. Hey, maybe let's go do a lucky draw.
Lucky draw.
Yeah, if you're talking about lucky, indeed.
Let's get lucky. All right, guys. So we still have some prizes to give away. Go to msi.com/2/insider. I will post a link into the chat right now as well, and then I'll draw our second winner of the day. So let me first put the link into the chat.
So the next part is a little bit experimental. We prepare some game movies. Actually, first we had only pictures to show you. That's quite easy. But then we said, well, we want some moving images, some movies.
Yes.
But we put it in PowerPoint, so it was all lagging and shocking and
it was a slideshow, which is what PowerPoint is for, right?
Yeah,
so
it was a slideshow.
So it became a typical PowerPoint presentation.
Yeah, and then we said, well, we want 60 FPS, so now we put everything. Actually, first we put it in Windows Video Player, then in Windows Media Player, and now we ended up with VLC.
The idea was so simple.
Yeah.
Just put them into a video player, and then just make a playlist, and then just next, and then.
Anyway, we will see. First, who's the lucky winner?
All right, so we have another lucky winner. His name is TC Chun. Congratulations, TC.
Can you fill out the link before the draw? Yeah, I mean, we will have you will be added to a pool, and we draw a lucky winner of that same pool.
Yes.
So no duplicates.
It's not that you have to
sign in
now,
and then
after we draw this winner, the whole database is wiped, and you have to do it again, right? So if you already did it earlier this stream, you are still in for the draw.
Yeah.
So don't worry about that.
Yeah.
When there will be no Navi card with custom design, it will be total crap. Yeah. I mean, I was also a little bit surprised that they were going for a blower design. On the other hand, it is traditional for the reference design that to do that.
One. He was complaining. I think he's from Nordic somewhere. He was complaining, I never win something, and no.
And there you go.
Yeah, congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations.
So, I'm going to push this button.
Uh-oh.
Are you ready?
Let's see.
Woo!
Yes.
Hey, smooth as...
Smooth as...
Well, we should not swear anymore during the live stream.
Why?
Anyway, let's talk about this game. This is Division 2, right? It's already launched, I think.
Well, we played it a long time ago.
Yeah,
I think with this
earlier this year.
60 Ti, something like that.
Very nice game.
I love it.
But now they will have expansions.
Episodes, right?
Episodes, indeed, they will call them. They have 3. First one will come in June. It's called DC Outskirts. So you see that here. You go more
on the outskirts of the town.
Yeah, indeed. So means more vegetation, trees, probably
Different
wildlife as well.
Yeah, zoo.
Yeah, indeed. Will be interesting. Yeah. They also have, I think, from the 13th of June, which is tomorrow, to the 16th. Yeah, maybe this weekend, somewhere close to the weekend or before the weekend. They are free to play. So you go to Uplay. Probably you can download the Division 2 for free and play it. And it's a really nice game.
At least for a limited time, indeed, so you can try it, see if you like it.
We love it.
It's a really nice game. It's addictive, right?
Actually, they're also working on a movie. I saw that Netflix, they bought this and they're working on a Division.
I think they still need to finish the
Division 2 movie, right?
The Witcher movies as well, right? Did you see that?
Yeah, but that's not from Ubisoft.
No. But it was funny Netflix. As hell, though.
Yeah. But I thought it looked nice.
The Nilfgaardian armor, the guys that looked like
I didn't see that.
Sex toys.
No, I didn't see that part.
You have to look it up.
Okay.
It looked ridiculous. Probably they're gonna do some outrageous CGI to make it look right. I don't know, but yeah, it looked funny. All right, so some episodes coming to the Division 2, and they keep piling onto it. So that's nice. So there's, if that's your main game, you will have a lot of nice new missions and environments to play around in later this year.
Okay, let's see the next one.
Yeah. So again, guys, this is the actual game stuff from E3. We're just going over the games.
What is this?
I don't know what this is. What is this?
Maybe you can switch again. I need to check.
No. Let's talk about this.
Yeah, but I'm going the wrong direction. I think I did P for next.
I don't care.
It should be P for previous.
Yeah, this thing is awesome though.
Yeah, actually, we wanted to play it today, right?
Yeah, we had it set up.
This is Doom 2.
What?
This is Doom 2, right?
Quake.
Oh, Quake 2. Quake 2. It's the same. Yeah, it's Quake 2 RTX.
Yes. Yeah.
It's for free?
It's the demo. There's a demo. Do you remember the time when we had demos?
Yeah. You could download something for free.
Exactly. So it
was nice you bought it.
The first 3 levels or something are free. But make sure you have an RTX card, because if you don't, your FPS, I mean, this game, you might think, well, it's not going to be, I can do this on a integrated GPU.
9 frames per second.
Holy crap. So on a 2070, 1070. I'm mistaken. So 1070, it's about 8 FPS.
Yeah.
This is brutal.
Yeah.
But it gives you so many tools, and that's what I wanted to show you today.
This is 100% ray trace, right?
It's not 100%, but it does show, what if we took a game, which is very basic, Quake 2, and just applied all the lighting, what was it called? Anyway, all the direct lighting, dynamic lighting and everything. I'm thinking IG or something. Anyway, all the lighting effects that you can think of, and let's see how it looks. And yes, of course, the graphics look dated, but the effects
just a little bit.
and the way that the light and the shadows and stuff like that, it's amazing.
You can
really
even
have to see it.
With your mouse, you can even move the sun around, right?
Yeah, but there's a very quick key that you can. That's the thing. You can customize so many things, like the sun, the time of day. You can even individual effects like indirect lighting or stuff like that. You can disable individual things to see the effect, and even the denoiser, for example, so you can get the really noisy type of thing. So it's really nice to play around and see, okay, so what does each thing do to the effect.
Somebody is asking, Surprise Blue is asking, do you guys know the date for making the pre-orders for the new X570 boards? Yes, we know the date, but we're not allowed to talk about it. But yeah, if you talk about pre-orders, it's going to be before the launch, so that's all I can say.
That's usually the case, right?
Yeah,
that's why it's called pre-order.
Yeah, that's
or
all,
else it would just be orders.
So we wanted to play this. You were already dragging your RTS PC here. I said no, we don't have time because preparation.
We're still making the playlist to show you guys this stuff. So press the N key this time.
Yeah, maybe next time. The N of.
Well, I want to show you guys indeed, maybe in an upcoming stream, all the things about, because it's very interesting.
Maybe not next week, but the week after, and you can play around with all the benchmarks.
Yeah.
And you look for an easy target.
I could just use cheat code. Don't worry.
Oh, okay. I hope they are disabled.
No, they're not.
N.
Yes.
N.
There we go.
Yes.
Okay.
Apex.
Apex Legends. So, yeah, some new thing. Obviously, Apex not a new game, but the base game, achieved so much popularity that they weren't. I don't think they were ready for it.
No, yeah, they. Even at the financial, the quarterly financial con call or
for EA,
for EA,
they were focusing on the Star Wars thing, right?
They had Star Wars and Battlefield and how many customers they got, but they didn't mention anything about Apex. And I think the same day or one day later, Apex launched, and it was an instant hit.
Yeah.
Everybody was really surprised with it. Also, the guys who developed the game, and in the beginning, a lot of players means more servers, a lot of players means more cheaters, so there were
a lot of things to fix there to make sure that the game
didn't have time for content. And this is also why a lot of players, I think they left Apex because of episode 1. It didn't have any good loot, it didn't have any good rewards.
Didn't introduce too much new things.
So that was a big disappointment, and they want to make up. So episode 2 is coming. I think 7th. Let me check. 2nd of July it starts. Season 2, I should say. Double XP weekend, 7th, 9th July.
All kinds of new skins. And a new character also.
New character. Watson, indeed. I'm not sure if she's in this movie in the background.
I don't think so, no.
It's she can do everything with electricity, so she can put electric fences and this kind of stuff.
Electrocute people.
Yeah, looks quite funny.
Shocking.
This should be included in this one.
I don't know.
No. Anyway.
But also some new things there. Yeah, that's nice.
Nico. And...
Fallout.
I mean,
76.
I liked the old Fallout, the game.
Fallout 4 and New Vegas were awesome.
But
76 was a cluster.
I even didn't try it.
No, I mean, I like that, on the one hand, I really like that Todd Howard came on stage and he kind of tried to make a joke about it as well. On the other hand, you're thinking, instead of, making jokes about it, you should have done something about it. I mean, and thanking people like, oh, thank you. You guys helped us to make the game great. And it should have been great in the first place. It shouldn't go this way. Anyway, I think that probably they will, this will have woken them up. I surely hope so.
They also now are going to introduce things we already planned.
Yeah.
You're just late.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But I mean, some nice things like they're going to do a battle royale, which is called the Nuclear Winner. It will be interesting to see. It looks like, there's some elements there of base building as well. So it might be a bit of a mix between Fortnite and other battle royales.
Battlefield. Because of the fire.
The firestorm, or was it?
Firestorm.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, but, how many different things and mechanics can you introduce to a battle royale genre? I mean,
a nuke.
Yeah, that's certainly new. Although I don't know if maybe others already tried it.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it will be interesting to see.
For me, it's. I always wonder how many of the players base can they keep, because you have like Apex is for free. PUBG is very cheap nowadays. And
I mean, they practically gave Fallout 76 away, right? I mean, it was at some point it was so cheap, and it dropped in price so quickly that a lot of people, I think, bought it and thought, well, let's see. I mean, they're still working on it, so let's see how it works and how it works out. So they might be.
They should have put beta access or
early access.
Early access on it. Yeah,
should have. But you know, so nuclear winter.
I think if you're interested, June 10.
Yeah, 10 to 17th of June. So that's
Free
already
test.
ongoing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Should be.
This is a Bethesda, right?
This is Bethesda. Yes.
Yeah.
And I mean, Bethesda is kind of known and infamous for, you know, launching games that are a bit buggy. I mean, just think of Skyrim at the beginning. It was a buggy mess, you know?
We have a question of Husky on Twitter. Hey MSI, who designed your X299 creation motherboard? A little bit difficult question, but yeah, we designed it.
There's not one person, you know?
No, a lot of people designed it. So
Yeah.
are you talking about the heatsink design? Are you talking about the VRM? Are you talking about the layout?
Yeah, it's a collaborative effort, you know? There's a lot of designers.
A lot of people involved.
There are engineers involved. There are designers involved. It's
marketing people, product marketing.
Yeah, technical people.
Yeah, indeed.
So, yeah. But, yeah, so that's Civilization as nukes, that's right. Yeah, but so Fallout 76, yeah, and they also got a content patch coming up, Wastelanders, which is in the fall, so it'll be a couple of months still.
November, October.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
So you know, it's it feels like, you know, they're trying to rush to the rescue and see if they can still make something out of this game. Which
probably there are
I
some
sincerely
people who,
hope that they will, because you know, I always loved the Fallout series, and
the setting,
even watching
great.
this movie and the music, you know, that their team who does that kind of stuff. Yeah, you know, the music sticks in your head, and it's just, you know, you just feel when watching those movies and the whole thing around it, you just feel like, yeah, I want to get into that. So it was really disappointing how the game turned out in the beginning, but who knows, you know, some of these things can be fixed.
No. Not my kind of game. Actually, we had our designer in the team.
Yeah.
For Fallout 4, he
yeah.
took off. He took a day off.
Yeah.
Maybe even a couple of days. Then we know there's a new game he wants to play it, and we're now still joking. Did you already come
Finish
out of
it?
your went to the top
To the shelter.
out of the nuclear shelter.
Yeah.
You just I didn't know what to do. I just walked around.
Yeah.
Still joking about it. Nico.
Yes.
Just to remind, I have the right button.
Yeah, very good.
This one I'm excited about.
Yeah, Wolfenstein.
Yeah.
Youngblood.
I love the setting. I mean, who doesn't like
Shooting
bad boys?
Nazis.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Nazis are those general baddies, bad guys that you could. It's like Doom, you know, monsters.
Yeah.
Nazis are monsters, right? I mean, it's kind of like, so you can just, you know, put them in there as bad guys, and you don't need to feel bad to whatever happens to them.
Yeah.
That's the whole premise.
A lot of blood, a lot of weapons.
Oh, young blood, yeah.
Yeah, true. Actually,
No, but
it's now the two daughters, right?
Yeah, so it's the story, I think, is it's like 20 years or something after the last game.
18, 19, yeah.
Yeah, and so the BJ Blazkowicz, the guy with the square face, you know, he's caught
retired.
somewhere. No, yeah, he's not retired. I think the Nazis got him in Paris or something, and
Yeah, it's not in the USA
Paris.
now. It's moved to Europe.
Yeah, it's in Paris, and so he has two daughters, and his two daughters are then going to rescue him. I think that's the premise. So you have two different types of characters.
One is more silent type, so she can walk, indeed, and the other one is more the aggressive.
Balls to the wall, yeah, guns blazing, that kind of. But
and it's a co-op game. If you play it alone, you probably have AI taking it over.
Could be, yeah.
And yeah, but it's designed for that, so that's also quite interesting.
I do like that, because the thing is, you know, normally single player games are nice, but if you're just playing with a friend,
this is sharing is caring.
Yeah, or just saying, I'm gonna get a beer, you finish this boss fight, you know.
Yeah.
Could also be that. But it's really interesting, and I really like these games. Usually the gameplay is nice, the visuals are really good as well, even the story, you know, even though it's a bit tacky maybe, but still it's pretty good. You know, it does get you involved. So I like that.
Yeah, let me see. Oh, July.
When is this coming out?
Yeah, July.
July, so also quite soon then. Yeah.
I forgot the date.
The exact date.
Somewhere July.
All right. Coming soon though.
Yeah, so this is
Borderlands 3. Yeah.
I'm not sure about this game. I mean, I like to.
Mm-hmm. It's that cell shaded game, right?
Yeah, and I don't like the cell shading part.
No?
No, not really.
Well, and it's definitely not your art type of game, indeed.
No, and it's also future stuff, wasteland stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, this was one of the, I don't want to say one of the first games, but one of the popular games back then when it came out.
But a lot of fun, a lot of jokes.
It has something cartoony about it as well.
Yeah.
It's not too serious.
So shell stating stuff basically means there's a black line around all the
characters or items.
All the items, everything. Yeah, like a cartoon.
Bit like cartoon, yeah. It helps to, pop out from the background, for example, and can make things a lot more clear. But yeah, I mean, they've come a long way. I really like the art style as well.
They also have the optimizations for the new Navi GPU.
Yeah, so a lot of these, what you saw earlier as well, the, what was it?
On and off.
Fidelity effects, yeah. That was in Borderlands 3, so they're using that to make things a bit more sharper, and should be quite interesting. When is this thing coming up?
September.
September already.
September.
So we're doing things by when it's coming up, right?
Yeah, I try to put some logic into it. So that's why now we have Gears.
Gears 5.
And it's not Gears of War 5.
Well, it is and it isn't. It depends.
Actually, it's Gears of War 6, I believe even.
Oh,
it's the
sixth
version of Gears of War.
But, I mean...
but it's also not Gears of War, it's just Gears 5. Yeah. I never played this game.
I have played it.
It is a very good game.
Back when it was an Xbox exclusive at a friend's house who had it, and it's, in the beginning it got a bit stale because it was just hiding behind, cover-based shooting, basically. Yeah. And the only thing I really liked about it was the
Division 2 is also
at the end of the gun.
This.
Yeah. Division 2 is kind of like that indeed. So there are a lot of games these days that do it similarly, and I guess it's just the setting and the story really needs to grasp you. And there's a lot of story and acting going on. So again, it's
graphical,
a big title.
Looks really nice.
Yes,
that's no problem.
What
was this the best trailer you could find?
No, this was the I just took the E3 trailers.
Okay.
So this was the E3 trailer. Yeah. So it's a woman staring very.
Because normally this is about blood and
a lot of gore and killing monsters.
So this is the worst trailer you could find.
I don't think it's the worst trailer. I think they were gonna come out with
This is. I don't see anything. I don't see bullets. I don't see guns. I don't see.
There's a whole story. You need to hear the sound.
I don't like stories.
I saw some.
I always skip stories.
I saw some movies with some gas as well, and that you had to get through a zone with 3 people or something like that. Yeah. And I think this is a game mode or something they're introducing.
Well, this is September 14th, and they will also have a Terminator skin pack.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so if you play like the Terminator.
I don't know if it was that, actually.
Let us know if you like Gears 5. Maybe we need to play it a little bit.
Yeah. Gears 5 is a modern Quake or Doom with co-op. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of shooting and But I guess that's nice. If you just want to chill and shoot, then one of those games, Quake, Doom, will do the job. Just blow off some steam.
Next.
Clearly not your game.
Oh, I need to. So like this.
All right. So
this is
Ghost
my
Recon.
game. Yeah. This is also cover based, right? Bit.
It's more tactical, that's true. But it depends. I mean, you get a lot of freedom usually on how you can just go running in and gun everybody down. That's possible. You can also do the tactical approach and scout it out. And then...
I like the graphics of this kind of games. This is also what in the last game was really impressive.
Yes, Wildlands.
Yeah, indeed.
But also the stories. I mean, it's progression based, so you need to unlock one part at a time.
I always skip the stories.
That gets a bit repetitive maybe after a while. But I mean, still, the stories and the way that they introduce new characters, bad guys, for example, that you need to take down and stuff like that. It does.
I like the weapons. I like the shooting. I like the hiding, the sneaking.
The vehicles.
Like the vehicles.
Taking a helicopter and flying it up somebody's house.
Yeah, indeed. Trying to take in the beginning already take a helicopter which is way above your level, so you cannot get it.
Yeah.
At the military bases or something.
Yeah.
And yeah, then grind your way, getting more XP, getting the levels that you can beat the guys to get the heli, and then do stuff with the heli. You know, this is nice. I mean, you can free roam around.
Yeah, but you get a lot of freedom in terms of how you want to deal with situations and or how you want to accomplish missions, and that's really nice. I really like this one, and visually these games are usually stunning.
Yeah, well, what I don't like of these games, you know, it's more like robots. There are a lot of
too futuristic.
Yeah,
too sci-fi.
you have the robots, the drones, and I like to kill people.
Well, you had drones.
That sounded bad.
Yeah,
I'm going to cut it.
You had then you definitely need to play Doom.
True,
because that's a game of no nonsense, just shooting things in the head and.
But this one looks nice.
Yeah, this is going to be one hell of a game as well.
Yeah,
when is
October beta in September. Beginning September 5th or something. They will have I'm not sure if it's a private beta, which basically means you need to buy the game and then you get early access, or it's public beta. Most times they have two, right?
Yep.
First a private
Closed,
beta for people who want it. No, yeah, closed or private. They call it private, I guess. And then they have a public beta. Everybody can join, and you can still order the game. And the launch date of Ghost Recon Breakpoint is October 4.
So it's still quite a while.
Yeah, months away.
We'll have everybody will be able to get Navi cards before then.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Rage.
Yeah. This is nice. I recognize this kind of thing. So Rage launched a couple of weeks ago, so it's still quite a new game, but they already announced a lot of new things coming up just to make things more fun and more interesting, give you a bit more possibilities to cause damage, cause mayhem, and express your rage, basically. All the rage. So yeah, it's a nice game. It's just, again, I think this is also a game mostly about just, you know...
Don't think. Just kill.
Yeah, just shooting stuff and
I didn't play this one.
No?
I played a little bit beta, but I didn't like level up or something.
No. Okay.
This could be my type of game.
I have to admit, I also didn't really play it, mostly because of a lack of time, because it did look interesting and fun. Although I have to say, I tend to lose interest in games like Doom or this quite soon.
The nice thing is you can jump in, do your thing, kill a lot of stuff, and
or destroy.
That's it. Yeah.
But there needs to be a story or something that I'm really, you know, I need to get the idea that I'm working towards something, or else it just becomes a sandbox game of
killing.
Gary's mod, but you know, with a lot of killing and blood and shit.
For sure, you will like the next one, because this one has a story.
Yeah, so I'm really looking forward to this. I got a serious Fallout and a good kind of Fallout vibe from this game, The Outer Worlds. It's basically Fallout New Vegas thing, but set in space. And there seems to be, or looks that it has a lot of story, a lot of content. I really like that. You know, just get into really get immersed into that world, and yeah. It seems like a game that I could really get lost in for at least a good couple of days.
That's always a problem. I always need to make the choice, am I going to play this game or not? Because if I'm going to play it and I like it, you will lose a lot of hours.
Yeah. And the other games will suffer.
Not only the other games. Real world activities as well.
Yeah, but you know, it's not like we have important jobs, right?
No.
So at least... Nobody will know.
What I like about this game, again, it's unique. The style is unique. It's a own universe. You know, they put a lot of effort in it.
But that's usually, and I see somebody already saying that it's made by the Fallout New Vegas studio, so that kind of makes sense.
Yeah, okay.
And you know, they put a lot of effort into it. Yes, and you know, games like Fallout 4 and New Vegas, there was so much, you know, content, lore, stories, and they were so good that, you know, you could tell that there's a lot of, you know, thought going into that, a lot of work. This game gives me the same vibe, and I really, really hope that they manage to do a good job, that it's a game where you can easily just lose yourself for days on end.
I see
never gets boring.
I see some people saying, hey, you should play more games on the live streams. What we probably will do is that somebody from MSI USA team on Fridays, they will start a gaming stream playing some games on Twitch channel, at least our Twitch channel. So I'm not sure when they will start. Still discussing with them, but see how that play out. And I mean, we like to play games as well, but time is always our limitation.
Our enemy. Yes.
Yeah. So what are you doing the whole day? Checking, preparing the live stream.
Preparing for new products for live streams.
Next.
Yeah, so beep beep boop boop boop. There's the robot. Star Wars, EA, and
we don't play these trailers with sound.
No.
Please, they're all over YouTube, so you can find them yourself.
Yeah, we intentionally cut the sound out because we wanted to talk over them, and then there's a lot of either big noises coming from the screen or people talking over them, which you might want to hear. So yeah, it was better to just not do that. I mean, it's a big title, this one.
Star Wars is always a tricky topic
Fallen
because
Order.
everybody has their own opinion, right?
Well, but it's also, last time EA made a Star Wars game, Battlefront 2, well, we all know what happened. So I think everybody's really tense about, okay, what are they going to do with this? Because, let's just say...
The fans, they care about the characters and the story.
Here's the thing. Even Battlefront 2, the game itself and the way it was made, the atmosphere, if you're not looking at loot boxes and that kind of thing, but just the production value and when you're playing the game, the atmosphere, the music, it was beautiful. Yeah. It was great. Absolutely. It was a really nice game. It was very enjoyable if you're a fan of the Star Wars series. So I'm just hoping that they just, leave all the crappy mechanics and loot boxes and stuff like that out. So that we get a game that we can just enjoy the Star Wars saga again and, be a part of that. I really hope that that's the case and that it becomes a game like that. It's instead of, too much. It was way too obvious, too much on the front that they were trying to get more money from people. And buy this, buy that. You can play Darth Vader, but you have to play like 5 weeks or something, and then you might have enough, or you can just pay for it, and then it was too obvious. So I really hope that I understand they can't make those games for free, but if you're already paying full price for a game, that should pretty much be
EA
it.
Guaranteed to push microtransactions.
Well, I don't know. I really hope they did learn their lesson from Battlefront.
I see the same now in Battlefield 5 happening. Skins and I mean...
Well, skins is fine. As long as you don't... It doesn't impact the game.
Yeah, it doesn't impact the game at this moment.
And also, it shouldn't be something that if you're paying full price for a game and they basically, in trailers, they were showing you can play as Darth Vader, you can play as this. Yeah. And then it becomes that, well, you can, but you have to play like 5 weeks.
Yeah.
And you have to get lucky to get him out of one of the loot boxes, or you have to pay money. I mean, that's just, it's too obvious that they're trying to entice people to.
Yeah. So this one is coming 15th of November. The next one.
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, I always have a soft spot. Again, like I said, I do get bored after a while.
Doom Eternal.
Yeah. But it's...
This is jump in, kill, and the graphics, I mean, the previous one was already good.
It was
very
beautiful.
Good. Beautiful indeed. Beautiful. And this one is even better.
And they even, they don't even just focus on the graphics. Yes, they did improve that a lot, but they even made some changes to the mechanics, which I thought was quite bold because, they had a good formula.
Yeah.
And you don't want to mess with that because, anything you can do can be either good or bad. But from what I've seen right now, it does sound good, actually, what they did. So they made the glory kills a lot more versatile. So it depends on what weapon you use, what stuff, pops out of the monster. In the previous Doom, it was just basically health, mostly. But now with the chainsaw... Yeah, exactly. So
depending on what weapon you have. Yeah.
So you can get more different stuff out of it.
Yeah.
But also epic, huge boss fights, which they didn't have in the original version.
I always hate boss fights. It takes a long time. You need to be concentrated because if you make one mistake, you can start over again.
I think that's why this Doom will actually be more for me because, you're working more. You need to work to achieve something.
Yeah.
And normally, with Doom, you're just running and boom, 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 you're dead. And okay, I cleared this level. Yay. Yeah. And that's why at some point you get bored because it's not really that challenging, even on the higher difficulties. But if you get like this huge boss fight where you're just, half an hour or something, and you really need to be clever to figure stuff out how to beat the boss.
They have some new mode where you need to fight as one person against 2 bosses.
Yeah. Well, it's a multiplayer
one
mode,
Slayer.
right?
Yeah, it's multiplayer mode.
Yeah.
1 Slayer versus
2 demons.
Yeah. So and it's skill versus what is it? Strategic.
Well, no. What they said basically is indeed it's a multiplayer and it's 2v1. So you might think, well, that's not fair.
No, it's very.
But it's very, the dynamics are very interesting, and it will be interesting to see how it plays out, because the Doomslayer, obviously, in terms of raw firepower, he will have the upper hand.
Yeah.
And the demons will have specific abilities and things that they can do, but they will have to work together. If they just attack him straight on, they'll be probably easily beaten. But if they work together as a team, and
one from the front, one from the left,
for example, so they have to be a bit more strategic about it.
I saw some gameplay and it looked really intense.
It's interesting as well. I really like the idea behind it.
Yeah, new concepts.
Yeah. So that's
normally it's like 2 versus 2 or 1 versus 1.
It's always a level playing field and everybody's equal. Blah, blah, blah. Here, no, it's not equal. There are differences and deal with it.
Yeah.
And if you're on a team with 2 guys, that's your balancing factor. There's 2 of you guys. If you choose not to work together, hey, then you probably lose. If you do work together, hey, you at least have a good chance of beating the Doom guy, basically. A very interesting concept. We'll see how it turns out. But it's set to be released on the 22nd of November.
Yeah.
So I'm really
So year end,
excited about that.
a lot of games.
Oh yeah, but that's traditional, right?
Yeah. So
Traditionally,
this is Gods and Monsters.
yeah, this was one that I think
Surprise.
a lot of people didn't really know that much about yet. Also, from the trailer, it's interesting. It looks beautiful, but I'm really wondering what kind of game this will be. If it will be more like
it
an
can
RPG.
be a puzzle game.
Yeah, an RPG, a first-person shooter, or I don't know, or like a massive storyline. Like it's made by the team that also did
Ubisoft?
Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
So here we go, Odyssey. Which kind of explains the
Style.
the setting
Greek
and the style.
mythology.
Yeah, exactly, a bit of mythology there. But I don't really know what kind of game this will be.
February 25 or 25th of February.
25th, yeah, 2020. So that's already next year.
No, not 2020.
Next year.
I
2020.
why not 2020?
Ask them.
I should be their marketing. I mean, why 25 2020?
Because you can't. 2020. There's no 20th month. Did I just kill your idea? You could do the second. The 20th of the second.
Well,
so it will be
20 past
20:02.
8, 20 past 8, 2020. Yeah, we have a small problem on the month.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it will be interesting
to see indeed what this
But it
brings.
will, it's still a while off, so by the time that it launches, we'll have a lot more information, no doubt about that.
For me, how's it called? Zelda.
Yeah.
Style a little bit like Zelda. No?
Yeah, kinda.
I mean,
It's a little bit cartoonish type of thing.
yeah, without the shell shading,
Yeah.
without the black line.
Yeah. But I mean, it's the bright, vibrant colors and stuff, but it does make it look
That's
really
what I
nice.
see. Yeah.
And then, one of the big ones as well,
Watch Dogs.
Legion. I mean, I always like the premise of Watch Dogs.
The hacking.
Yeah, I mean, you're using technology and undermining the system and the big baddies, and and you're just doing your small part to try and fight back a bit. But I think this one's really nice. It's in London, post-Brexit London.
Well, we're not sure if that's going to happen.
Well, it's fiction, right? The game.
Yeah.
So. But yeah, and I really like that you can just walk around and scan different people, right? We saw some,
you can,
some images.
each NPC you can play with, so you can scan them.
Yeah.
And then you can recruit them for your cause.
Yeah, you can see what are, everybody has a story, has a background, and everybody has different skills, for example. I already see some people saying grandma is the best character.
Yeah,
there's this old lady indeed, and she's like, mad hacks. Really funny. So yeah, it's I see somebody also saying it's a main contender to GTA. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. But
it looks like a very interesting game.
I saw online already somebody who, I mean, if you get killed, it's
Yeah.
permadeath.
Yeah, so that character is just gone.
Yeah.
You don't
So
get him
I
back.
saw somebody who, well, yeah, he was killed by a cop or something, and then he said, okay,
I'm going
to take revenge. So he knew who the cop was, checked the schedule, beat him into the hospital, and then he sneaked into the hospital and killed him. So revenge for his old character.
Something like that.
Yeah, this is grandma.
Yeah, grandma in the background. It's a badass grandma.
Yeah, ninja. An assassin.
Retired assassin. Yeah. So, but it's it'll be fun to see this game. But when is this going to launch? It's also next year then.
This is going to be launched at the 6th of March, 2020.
That's a long wait.
That's like a very long wait. 9 months. So probably they still have some. There will be a beta as well, I guess.
Maybe we want to see. Again, it takes so long. By the time there's the beta, it will probably be 2020 already.
Yeah,
it'll be January, February, whatever.
Indeed. Anyway, looking forward to this game.
Beautiful as well. Isn't this one supposed to be getting ray tracing support as well?
Yeah, I will show you some screenshot later after the next one.
Yeah.
Because the next one
is the big one, guys.
Even better.
This is the one I think everybody was waiting for, right?
Yeah, Cyberpunk.
2077, and we didn't even have to wait until 2077 for it to be available.
Well, everybody...
that was the meme, right? Like, when is it going to be available? Well, probably 2077, because
I never played The Witcher.
No,
I in the beginning I didn't have time. Then I think I started with it. I did like a few levels or something. But Martijn, you will see Martijn. Hopefully, by the way, soonish, because he works for a different company.
If you remember him.
Yeah, most remember him. Anyway, Martijn, he built a special PC for it to couch game The Witcher.
I know, yeah.
And he spent so many hours to finish the game.
Months. And then he bought the DLC, Blood and Wine and all that.
I mean, I can still start the game because you have a lot of DLC. You have all the patches for the high fidelity, for the high res.
I still have it.
Textures. Yeah. I also have the game. The problem is I don't have the time.
Yeah. Well, it's one of those games where you don't just log in and play for like half an hour because you want to finish a quest or whatever, and then you're there, and then all of a sudden you find out some other side quest and you go do that, and so it's one of those games where you're there for hours.
The problem what I have, I don't like the weapons. I don't like the setting. I like modern weapons. I like a lot of different weapons, like Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
You have a lot of different settings. Weapons.
Yeah.
And here, all the swords are the same. Different
really
diamond on
but
okay. Of course, the skill.
The changes are more subtle. The differences.
Yeah,
that's right.
That's, for me.
And there's a lot of magic in there as well.
Yeah.
Of course. That's
but this game. Wow.
Well, but the thing about The Witcher as well is it's not just the weapons, it's the story.
Yeah.
The storyline and the acting, and it's just you get caught in it. That's the whole thing. If you start playing that, and I really hope that.
Can I finish it?
Why we're playing it? Why we're talking about The Witcher, by the way, is of course because it's the same studio, CD Projekt Red.
Yeah, Polish company.
Yes, Polish company, which has a track record for games like The Witcher 3, which was just Game of the Year.
And this is a cinematic trailer, but there's also already gameplay online.
Yeah. And it's going to be one hell of a game. And it's been in development for quite a while as well. So it will be very interesting to see what you can actually do and how the mechanics will work. And it's already obviously gorgeous and set in a very interesting time. And
well, the big surprise was also at the end of this trailer.
Yeah, that was very interesting as well. And then, the guy from the trailer walked onto the stage.
Yeah, indeed.
Keanu Reeves.
Yeah,
you didn't. They didn't have to do that.
No, great guy, but I think the game can go without him, and he's not a main character.
The hype was already pretty freaking big before people even knew that Keanu Reeves would be in the game. So this is just adding awesome to awesome.
Yeah, it looked. Yeah,
and it's just like
something to look forward to.
Well, if you didn't already have that, which I think is tough because I think a lot of people were already looking forward to this.
Yeah. And
so it just got a whole lot more. It's like they raised the bar even more.
Yeah.
So I'm really hoping that they can deliver on it as well.
They see him.
Yeah, it's gonna be. Yeah. I think.
Yeah.
So it's.
And then after this, it was finished after the Trailer was finished. He came on stage.
Yeah.
He didn't have a metal arm, by the way.
No, not yet.
I noticed.
No,
Not yet. Yeah.
But you know, it's and then the great moment came where he was doing his little speech, and he said something about walking around and it would be breathtaking. And then some guy in the audience said, "You're breathtaking," and he just completely went off script and said, "No, you're breathtaking."
I heard that the guy who shouted in the audience, he got a collector item for it.
Well, they offered it to him, yeah. But I heard that in the true spirit of Keanu Reeves, you know, I think he, I don't know if this is true, by the way. I read it somewhere that he supposedly said, no, thanks. I'll buy the game. Don't worry. You know, just donate the money that, you know, that would cost to a good cause or something like that. So,
can we maybe go to the main screen?
Yes, we can.
Then I will show you some...
We still have a giveaway, by the way, guys. So we're going to give away at least one more code today. So if you want to participate, go to
only one.
MSI.com.
Maybe do a giveaway now. Yeah. Then we do two.
Let's just, okay.
I mean, we're showing them all these nice games, and then you don't give them some money to purchase them.
Oh, you gotta give them some incentive to work for it. Right?
The only thing you can do is aging. Yeah. Yeah, the meme online, right? 90 of a, what is it? 70, 40, whatever.
Yeah, he doesn't age. All right, so we have another winner, Jay Kata.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
In the coming days, we will send you the game code.
$20 coming your way.
Yeah, so yeah, it's there.
Okay, yeah, let's...
yeah, so these are two photos which NVIDIA released, I think last night, last evening in the blog. It's about ray tracing. So both, what is it called? Watch Dogs Legions and Cyberpunk will get ray tracing. So
support,
big news.
Which is not really a surprise, I think.
Well,
I would have expected it.
Is this the first Ubisoft game with ray tracing? I would say so.
Well, that's a good question. I guess
that is for me. I mean,
but it's such a big title, you know.
No, but it's also interesting from engine point of view, because once the engine supported, all the other games which are built on the engine can support it as well.
Well, you would expect that. I think so. I mean, obviously, I would expect Ubisoft to be building, you know, their Unity engine or whatever. That it will.
The Unity is not theirs.
Oh,
no,
Ubisoft Unity.
No.
So anyway, but you would expect their engines to, and the makers of these, the Unity engine and the Frostbite and whatever, that they will be building in support for Frostbite. I think already does, right? That's Battlefield.
Yeah.
So it already has support. Yeah. And you know, these what will be really interesting to see is that, you know, I think even Battlefield 5 at the start, when they started developing that game years ago, I don't think they built it with ray tracing in mind yet. You know, this was something that was added on probably near the end or at the last.
I think you can also see this when they started. What was the name? What AMD had the before DirectX 12.
You mean the game that pretty much became a benchmark?
No. I mean in Battlefield 4, they had a special.
Oh, okay.
What was it called? Anybody knows? Snowdrop is the engine. That is indeed the engine Ubisoft uses.
Yes.
Not from all games, but for most games. Yeah. Like Division 2 is using it.
Correct.
Wildlands was using it.
But so they had some techniques indeed. But you know, the thing what will be really interesting is that these games probably, well, I don't know about Cyberpunk 2077, but because that one has been in development for a long time. Watch Dogs Legion, I'm not sure. Might also be already in development for a long time. But my point is that they've had a lot more time to include ray tracing and to think about how best to use it and make sure that it's, you know, part of the game from the start in the design, but also in terms of programming it, making sure it doesn't have a big performance impact, for example. So it will be very interesting to see this basically second generation of ray tracing games, to see, you know, what kind of techniques they will use. Will it still have as big an impact of performance? Yeah. How will DLSS play a part in this, for example? So, because it could very well be, and this is kind of my hope, my dream, I guess.
Dream.
Yeah, dream, maybe. Dream on.
I mean, games will always have patches.
No, it will be patches, of course.
So that you can have dreams.
Yes, yeah. No, but I mean, that the impact will be, you know, a lot less than what it is now, but that you do get all the great visual fidelity. They did, and that's why I'm really hoping that the difference with these games will be quite big.
I just see it like this. I mean, of like this. The next generation hardware will be faster than this one, right?
Yeah, but I'm talking about, so beginning of 2020.
Yeah. So let's say middle of this year, AMD will launch a Navi.
Yeah.
So early next year, end of this year, probably we'll have some new GPUs. We don't know anything,
Yeah.
so don't quote us. Probably that will happen.
He said it.
No,
just for the people
quote
quoting.
Peter and not Peter. Peter, quote him. Anyway, so there will be a new GPU which will be faster, like 10%, whatever, 15%, whatever. It will be even better in ray tracing. So what are you going to do? I mean, 4040p. Either you're stuck to 4040p or to 4K. 8K is still out of the question.
Yeah.
8K, you can already do 60. What do you want? 120? Sometimes you can already do that with SLI. You can go even 120, 144 probably.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can only increase the fidelity, the graphical.
Yeah, the eye candy.
The eye candy.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah. So you will see more ray tracing.
Yeah.
Heavy use of ray tracing.
Yeah, but the question is, how big will the impact be? Will they be able to find ways to make it visually a lot more beautiful and use a lot more of those ray tracing? If you want to play
without
60, the impact.
For me, it's if you want to play 60 FPS and you can do that right now with ray tracing. Next time you probably want to play 60 FPS as well, but you have more ray tracing stuff.
But these are completely new games, so it's going to be, I don't think you can compare it to a game that was later made compatible to include ray tracing.
Yeah.
Versus a game that had a lot.
Well, let's maybe talk with Ubisoft and find out.
Yeah, maybe
they can give us some insight about how this is developed and if it was developed from the ground on already. But let's be honest. I mean, this game we're talking about Watch Dogs.
Yeah,
I think this all should also be like 4 to 5 years in the making.
Something like that. Yeah, usually games of this magnitude, they take a long time.
I have another one.
Well, this one.
And
Cyberpunk.
Cyberpunk. This screenshot looks. I mean, this is made for ray tracing.
Yeah.
It's all
neon signs and futuristic and
It's future. It's metal. It's shiny.
Yeah.
Neon lights. It's like
refractions everywhere.
What's the game
called? A lot
called?
of glass.
Of the movie. Blade Runner.
Oh, Blade Runner. Yeah.
Like this kind of setting. So.
True.
Yeah.
This
perfect for this.
Yeah. So it's going to be even more stunning and beautiful than it already is. The question is, with so much ray tracing going on, is this going to be the new Crysis? Because at the moment, I saw the performance of Quake 2 RTX, the RTX, and with everything set to max, it is so heavy. Even playing 1080p on a 2080 Ti. RTX 2080 Ti.
Yeah.
It is so demanding.
Yeah.
So Quake 2 RTX is at the moment, I think, the new Crysis in terms of ray tracing.
But I saw somebody
play RTX Quake 2?
I saw somebody during E3 making this joke. I think the guys from Doom Eternal.
That could be.
Like the first question everybody will ask: can it run Doom?
Yeah.
No, it was Crysis.
Yeah. But I mean, he made it Doom. It's funny, but.
Made for 6 SLI ray tracing cards, probably. Anyway, we have one more game to show. New style. Anyway, it's smooth, right?
It's very smooth.
Yeah, that's what we want. And the last one is,
I'm confused if this is actually a new game or
this is
like an add-on.
This is Rainbow Six.
Yes.
Oh, what's it called? Rainbow
Quarantine.
Six. Quarantine, yeah. So, if you check the Ubisoft press conference, they had also some mobile games. You can play like Sam Fisher. You can play a lot of characters from Rainbow Six. It starts to look a little bit like Mario Everywhere, like Nintendo. Yeah, but people are attached to these characters. Yes, they are.
Yeah.
But I'm a little bit afraid. So, I mean, now you have a new game, Rainbow Six. Yes. Again, same characters. You recognize some. It's a horror game. It's a 3-squad based tactical horror game. I think that's the best.
And I guess, the whole being quarantined and like having a disease, because you can see the guy in the clip, with that stuff on his arm. I guess that creates the urgency in the game that there's, you need to rescue your teammate or something like that and prevent him from being killed or taken over by whatever is eating at him. But it'll be interesting to see. But this one is also still a long way off, right? When's the launch date?
Early 2020.
Early 2020.
Yeah.
So it's still, there's not
didn't
even no month or date.
They
or
didn't want
it's
to
just-
say 2020,
No.
2020.
Yeah. So it's still a long way off, I'd say.
Yeah, looks nice.
Yeah.
This should be a VR game.
I guess so. They did announce a couple of VR games, right? Even what was it? Youngblood.
I missed
I'm not
it.
sure if it's Youngblood, by the way, but
No.
it's the Wolfenstein game. They also made a VR, VR
I didn't
one
see
of that. Yeah.
I skipped the Nintendo press conference.
Well, it wasn't Nintendo, but that's
Yeah.
fine.
I skipped some parts. Anyway, yeah, 3-player co-op.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of strange.
But
Anyway,
so it's more like 3-player co-op. So it's
a lot of things are borrowed from Rainbow Six. So a lot of
Yeah.
people who play Rainbow Six, they Siege,
will
they
recognize a lot of stuff.
weapon mechanics and this kind of
Yeah.
stuff. So that's quite a benefit. Maybe do the last giveaway.
Let's do it.
Don't announce the URL. Maybe go to next week because then I will.
All right.
Yeah. So that was it for this week. We like what I said. We wanted to talk about the games. We ended up talking about a lot about AMD.
Yeah.
Around
Not
launch,
our fault. We blame AMD.
Yeah. Around the launch, I think 10th of July, we will have a special live stream
Yes.
all about AMD, all about Ryzen 3rd Gen. We will have benchmarks. We will have a lot of stuff here. We will probably have somebody from AMD here in the studio answering your questions. Next week, we're going to talk about curved gaming monitors. Ja is the...
Ja will be back.
Ja will be back. Last week, he did an awesome live stream with assembling these bad boys during the live stream. And you know what I discovered? I also have lucky socks. It was in the weekend. We had a party and I was sitting like this and I suddenly saw lucky socks. I was like, hey, send a picture to my colleagues.
Yeah. Happy socks, you mean?
Of happy,
Yeah,
sorry.
yeah,
Happy
that's
socks.
the
Yeah,
one,
yeah. Anyway,
So everybody has them.
so next week he's going to talk about curved gaming monitors and why it matters for gaming, because more and more games are interesting to play in surround.
Well, you want to get immersed into a game, right? I mean, you always want to play a game and then, realize that, well, you're basically just sitting in
So
a
he's
room
going
and-
to talk about the difference between 1800 R,
Yes.
1500, and I don't know. And he will look funny. We ordered some special item for him.
Let's just say you don't want to miss that.
Yeah.
You definitely don't want to miss it.
Anyway,
So our last winner of today is called Anna. Congratulations.
in the coming days, how did you say it?
Yeah, after the stream.
After the stream.
After
After
the
the stream, you will get a game code. Can be 1 day, can be 2 weeks, can be most times within a day or two.
Usually the day after or
Yeah.
something like that.
Anyway, hope you all enjoyed today. Thank you all for participating in the chats. Nice stories, good questions.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah, thanks for watching. See you next week, each Wednesday, same time. Thank you. Bye-bye.
See you.